Hi and welcome to today's yin. Today we're going to do 60 minutes and we're going to focus on our hips. So we're basically going to use all the 6 degrees of our hips. So internal rotation, external rotation, and then flexion and extension. And then we're also going to work with a bit of a twist in the end. So I suggest that you make yourself comfortable in a seated position so that you can feel that you have a lengthening through your spine. And once you're settled, perhaps you want to close down your eyes. And let's take a full deep breath in through our nose here. And let's open through the mouth and exhale completely. Let's inhale all the way. Open through our mouth and exhale. Let's do that one more time. Inhale. And exhale. So let's just settle into our breath now. You can keep that little contraction in the back of the throat. Just a mild and slight ujjayi breath. Just enough to keep the energy going in the body. And can you have a sense that you're connecting to every part of your beautiful body? Start to sense the skin, your muscles, and sense your bones. Inviting the sit bones down into the ground. And let's just sit with the breath. Starting to expand the breath deep down into the lower part of your lungs. Starting to awakening the connection to your body, into this moment. Perhaps just set an intention for yourself. When we start to really focus on our intentions, we can heighten our frequency. So with your intent, it's like you're putting an imprint or putting an imprint out into the universe. Rather than you just receiving an imprint, you can decide what your intentions are. And we can decide what energy we would like to be. So just take a moment to connect with that. So choose an intention that will uplift your frequency and uplift your energy. Just imprinting your intent on the universe. And let's breathe that intention into our body. So inhale to lift our arms up high. And exhale to move the arms down just in front of our body. And inhale to move the arms back. Exhale, moving your hands down. And one more time, inhale. And exhale. Good. So the first shape we're going to come into is butterfly. So here we're working with external rotation and also a slight flexion. So, and also an adduction, so you're kind of getting the legs a little bit wider apart. So let's stay here for about 4 minutes. So keeping your intention clear and just noticing what you're facing along the way as we're staying in this shape. And just really noticing if you can keep yourself grounded and connected. Just really trying to create that freedom for our hips so that we can move in any direction that we need in our lives. Hips representing the way we are able to move forwards. So we don't want to feel like we get stuck. We want to open ourselves up for that freedom, that we're able to move our hips in any degree. Now just really bringing your breath attention to the back of your body. I like to always visualize a ball of energy moving up along my spine as I'm breathing in. And it gently comes back down as I'm exhaling. You can visualize your breath moving in your body like this. You might notice that your body is opening up, and you can come deeper and deeper into the pose without forcing. Coming into a state of awareness and meeting our body there, listening, tuning in, observing. Just the last couple of breaths now. Let's just take 3 more breaths in our own time. Once you've taken your 3 breaths, using your hands to slowly come back up. And then I always like to place my hands to the outside of the knees and bringing the legs back together just for a moment, holding around the legs. And then you might want to release in some wipers. So we can just bring the feet about 1 meter apart, then slowly moving our knees over from one side to the other. Good. And now we're going to work with flexion. So we're going to come into caterpillar pose. So you might just want to move or place a bolster underneath your knees. So it's where we're extending the legs and coming into caterpillar, so into our little cocoon basically. And always when we're folding forwards, it's a good time to kind of reflect. And we're going to stay here for another 4 minutes. But time is not really a thing as we're practicing yin. It's just breath by breath. And we're becoming more and more aware. And then really keep your intention clear. Whatever you are facing here, you can choose what you're feeding into. You can choose what thoughts to listen to. Choose the ones that will uplift your well-being. Choosing to nurturing and feel compassion for our body. Perhaps even that deeper sense of gratitude. Our bodies are incredible. So just reflect on which areas you can give some more compassion as we're staying for a little bit longer here. What is your intention now? It can be as simple as just breathing that intention in, or just simply focusing on your breath. Letting your body soften more and more forwards, breath by breath, and moment by moment. Just really filling the back body with your breath. And come back to the sensation in your body. Your mind is probably trying to get you elsewhere. See if you can stay here and now. Let's take 3 more breaths. Just do that in your own time. And when you're releasing, just be super mindful to move as slowly as you possibly can. And from there, it might be nice to just bring the spine into the other direction. So you can bring either your feet in and give yourself a bit of a hug, maybe even lifting and floating the feet off, or just grounding down here through the big toes. If you feel you want to have a little bit more of a heart opening, then bring your hands back behind, lift your chest up. And then slowly starting to release. Let's come into shoelace pose now. So when I come into shoelace, I like to sit onto a block because my hips are a little bit tight. So I just think it makes it a bit easier for my hips in that way. So let's start with our right leg forwards and let's bring the left knee on top. So remember that you can keep your bottom leg straight here. Don't have to fold it in, but if you feel like you want to get that slight external rotation, then bring that in. So you can bring that right foot in. Make sure that you're not sitting onto your buttocks. So you want to have the feet moving away. And see if we can settle here. So it might be nice to draw some circles with your shoulders, just to create some space. So we're not holding the tension in our upper body or in our face. Maybe you want to exhale completely through the mouth and just allowing the outer hips to sink down either to the floor or onto your block. We're getting a mild adduction here into our hips. But if you feel like you can fold forwards, you're more than welcome to take that forward fold. And then you also get a bit more of a flexion. And see if you can just melt here. Really releasing the tensions in your arms and shoulders and all the way up into your neck. Just letting the weight of your head go. And your body might breathe against that left thigh. Make sure that you can keep your breath deep and smooth. And just let yourself be here. Make the commitment to stay here and now. Maybe surrender a little bit deeper into the pose. Sometimes the body is able to go deeper than we think. Our bodies are capable. We just need to trust. So let's take one more breath in and a full breath out, and slowly coming up. So we're going to come into a counter pose from that. So with your left leg, bring that back behind you, and if you were sitting onto a block, you can move that to the side for now. And you're bringing your right foot to touch your left thigh. And then we're just going to fold over our right leg now. So you can create a pillow here with your arms. And let's just take a moment here, relaxing through our legs and our feet. I'm going to invite you to completely just let go. Just let yourself rest now. And just noticing how that feels for your left hip. Maybe we can start to trace the sensation that's running through our body. Keep melting and relaxing. And then let's just take one more breath in. Exhaling all the way again. Just keep letting go of that tension. And when you feel ready, coming up, and let's come into our second side. So this time the left leg is straight. And then bring your right knee on top. And once again there, if you want the blocks, you can pop them back underneath now. Probably a good idea to do that before I was crossing my legs. Good, so the right leg comes on top. And if you feel like you have the space there, then start to bring that left leg in underneath. And just moving the feet away. And then slowly roll the shoulders around. Just letting go of that tension. Good, and then eventually finding the stillness so that you can settle into the pose. Breathing mindfully. If you did so on the first side, you might want to start to fold forwards. Just taking it slowly, not forcing our body into the pose. Just mindfully, one bit at a time. And once again, you might just want to move the head around so there's no tension in your neck. There's no tension in your face. There is just your breath. There is just your intention. And let me read you a little quote. The nature of yoga is to shine the light of awareness into the darkest corners of the body. And especially when we're working with our hips, there might be a lot of emotion coming up. Like I said, the hips also represent our ability to move forwards in life. And if we've been feeling a bit stuck or stagnant at certain times in our life, we might actually feel that in our hips. And when we're then coming into our yoga practice and working deeper with our hips, all those emotions can arise. But just allow them to be there. Just feel what you're feeling. Maybe that's all the body needs, to actually just have that permission to feel that. And once we're accepting that, then the body can also learn how to let go of that tension or emotion. So let's just stay for 3 more breaths. And once you've taken your 3 breaths, you can ever so gently make your way back up. And we're going to take the same counter pose as we had before. So move your right leg back. And then if your left leg was straight, just bring that foot in. And let's so folding over your left leg, creating a pillow so you can completely rest your head. And now just relaxing through your right leg, just allowing the upper body to soften over your left leg. And once again, it's just you and your breath. Just softening and releasing. There is nothing you need to do. You don't need to be anything for anyone. You can just be here for yourself and with yourself. Just melting a little bit deeper before it's time for us to release. So just take the last couple of moments here. Inhale all the way. And exhale the way. Slowly coming up. And from there, you might want to take some wipers there again. So once again, bringing your feet about 1 meter apart, and then slowly bringing the knees over from one side to the other. So we're going to work a little bit deeper with external rotations. We're going to come into a winged dragon. And let's start with our right leg forwards. So, oh sorry, I can face my right leg forwards here, and my right arm is on the inside of my knee here. And then with your left hip, just make sure that you can open that up, so you're getting that full extension into the back hip, and then a bit of compression here into a front hip, rotate into the front hip. So just guide the right toes out slightly. And then you can start to gently push that right leg away. And as we're having a little bit of weight here onto our left arm, we're not going to hold this pose for too long, as it takes a little bit of effort here. So if you can't really feel this, and if you feel like your body is capable of going deeper, then feel free to come down onto your left forearm and then winging your knee out that way. So just remember to not be forceful, just be aware. And that if anything doesn't feel right or good to your body, you're more than welcome to release and opt out. You are in control of your own practice. Good, and you can slowly start to release and come into your second side. So bring your left leg forwards. So your left arm is on the inside of the leg there. Gently turning the toes out and either staying there onto your right hand, and then gently pushing that left knee away by using your left hand. Or if you did so before, eventually you might want to come down there onto your right forearm. So just take an option that's suitable for you today. Feeling that you're gently twisting the spine from the upper back and getting that beautiful extension now into your right hip and externally rotation through your left. All the degrees of our hips. Just a few more moments. And then slowly releasing. Good. So it might be nice to just take child's pose for a moment. So widen your knees and then just slowly melting your heart down. So let's just take about a minute or so here. And then just feeling the breath into the back body now. Good, and then we're going to come into a half saddle, which is a quad stretch and also a slight internal rotation. So if you are not happy to place your foot to the outside of your hip, so looking here, my foot is on the top of the foot and then the toes are pointing back. So we're just going to do half saddle. So your right leg is straight and the left leg, so the foot is on the outside. You can also use your bolsters here, so before you get too comfortable there, you can use the bolsters. However, if your knee or ankle is not happy with this, you're just going to lay on your side and then stretch into the quad that way, okay? So whichever variation works best for you today. So let's start to just become aware of that slight internal rotation of our hip here. And then place the hands down, gently tuck your tailbone under, because if we don't, then when we're starting to lean back, we might overarch a little bit into the spine and it can hurt a bit. And then we're also using or missing the purpose of the pose. So let's take 2 minutes here. So if you're starting to come back down, just make sure your knee doesn't lift off the floor at all. So you want to keep that down. And if it hurts the lower back, just take that moment to reset, gently lift your hips back up and tuck under. And just breathing through here. And for those who want to come all the way back down, you can also use the bolster there as a bit of a support. See if you can bring the art of surrendering into this moment. Just reclining your body back or upright, wherever you are is perfect. I trust that you do what's best for your body. Good, and then slowly coming back up. And with that leg there, you might just want to straighten the knee, a bit of a rub. So we're getting the circulation back. I always get a little bit sensitive around my knees there. Good. And then you can either roll over to your left hip and then just stretching into your right side, or you can take the right foot to the outside of your right hip now. Take a moment to set up, using the bolsters behind if you need them. Gently lifting your bottom up and tuck our tailbone under. And ever so gently start to make your way into the pose. And see if you can keep that lengthening and extension there into your right hip now, and also into your thighs. I feel like we're giving some more energy into our legs. And just a few more moments. So if you're reclining all the way back, you can slowly start to make your way back up. And when you're ready, just starting to release into that leg. So you can get it in front of you, give the knee a bit of a release, massaging, do what you need. Good, and then we're going to of course work with our twist, which is really nice to finish off our practice. So this is an adduction and then a slight internal rotation we're working with now. So let's start on hugging our right knee into the chest. If you want to have your bolster, you might want to have them out to the left side as well, because that can be nice as a bit of an extra support. So let's bring that right knee into our chest. And then just take a moment there to move that knee a little bit from side to side. And then just hugging that knee nice and close into your chest. And when you're ready, setting up there for the twist. So you can either just bring that foot into the back of the knee, or you can choose to have both your knees out. So I'll show on the other side. So bringing the feet below the knees like that. So we're going to stay there in the twist for a couple of minutes. And here it's really nice to feel that we can keep both our shoulders down to the floor. You might even want to float the arms out, and you also can lift the shoulders and tuck them under. Just to make sure that you can relax both the shoulder blades down and then softening out through your arms, through your hands, and into your fingers. Just breathing here now in your twist, and see if you can find that nice juicy spot where there is no effort. There is just softening and space. There is only softness in your face. You can start to soften through your skin, into your tissues and muscles, into your joints, and relaxing deep into your bones. You're just feeling the movement of the breath. Comes and goes. And as you're breathing, you're just having that sense of feeling more and more free. You're allowing yourself to let go and to be with what is. And let's take one more breath in. Full breath out and slowly coming back to the center. So just laying on your back, hugging both knees into your chest. And then taking the twist to our second side. So let's release the right leg down and just hug your left knee in. Give it a bit of movement so that we can just start to notice. And then slowly coming over to the twist, second side. Adjusting into your upper back and your shoulders. No tension through your feet or your legs. Maybe you want to float the arms out and just enjoying to take some space. Breath is moving deep down in your body. I really like to come into twists. They feel really relaxing. It's creating that sense of calm. A beautiful way to finish off a yin practice. Deepen the breath even more if you're noticing your mind is racing elsewhere. Just coming back to that simplicity. The breath, when we're having that nice and deep, smooth breath, then our yoga practice becomes really meaningful. Becomes really deep and profound. So let's take one more breath here. And to exhale all the way. And let's just bring our knees into the chest. Maybe you just want to rock them a bit from side to side. And then you can just come into your Shavasana. Or if you prefer to stay in a seated meditation, you can always take that option. So let yourself settle. Make sure that you are comfortable, nice and warm. So if you're laying down, I'm just going to guide you through a little bit of a principle, the last niyama in the sutras, which is Ishvara Pranidhana, which means to surrender. And when we are in Shavasana, it gives us that perfect opportunity to completely let go. So as you're laying here, can you come to peace with that there is nothing for us to do? That you can lie here and release tension in your body. Letting go of any effort. Trust that your breath will breathe you and that your body will renew itself. The jewel of surrender presupposes that there is a divine force at work in our lives. Ultimately, this guideline invites us to surrender our egos, open our hearts, and accept the higher purpose of our being. So just keep that simple intention of surrender. And just feeling your body melting into the ground. Deeper and deeper for each moment that passes. Become one with the stillness. Feel a sense of peace washing over you. And let that peace clear you from anything and everything that you don't need to hold on to. Come to peace with it all and surrender. Keep softening through your skin, through your muscles, and deep into your bones. It's okay to completely let go. And now can you sense your body arriving back on your mat? Can you feel the full weight of your body? Noticing the touch point where your body is touching the floor. And let's draw a nice full deep breath in and a big sigh out. Let's move into our fingers and our toes, stretching and yawning. Bring your knees into the chest if you're laying down, or just fold forwards if you've been sitting up. And when you feel ready, releasing the feet back down to the floor, rolling over to one side. And ever so gently coming up into a comfortable seated position with your hands in Anjali Mudra. Let's take a moment to acknowledge everything that we are and everything that we have. The beautiful country that we walk. Let's close our practice with one Brahmari humming bee breath. Inhale. Inhale deeply. Exhale to smile. Keep compassion, kindness, and love in your heart. Thumbs to your forehead, bowing forwards. The divine light in me honors the divine light in each and every one of you. Namaste. Thanks everyone for joining me for this yin class. I hope to see you soon. Thank you.